Alright, I'm here at Henry Ford's Greenfield Village, and I'm heading to the loading dock to take a ride on a Ford Model T around this amazing outdoor museum. I've waited in line, and now it's my turn. So let's hop on in.
Are you visiting us from Seattle today?
I am.
All right, love it out there.
Thanks.
I was out in Oregon last month.
It's a beautiful area of the country. This is fantastic though. I've never ridden in a Model T before.
All right, so let's learn all about Model Ts then. So, today we're riding in a 1925 touring car, Ford Model T touring car. This was the most popular of all the Model T models. They all had the roofs that folded down. Unfortunately, we got the rain earlier today, so we had to put our roofs up. Otherwise, we'd be enjoying a beautiful view right now. Yeah. We got the air conditioning turned on, so I got some nice air movement through here. Henry Ford and Ford Motor, they introduced this car way back in 1908. Henry Ford, you probably know, he wanted to mass produce a car that the average worker could actually afford to buy. So it took about a year to design this car. It was a top secret operation. Only about a dozen people were involved in it. It was literally behind closed doors. So at the end of '08, the car gets introduced. Only problem is it cost about $850, which was a lot of money back then. Fell steadily. Then 1914 comes along. So a very important year, because that's the year that the moving assembly line comes to Ford Motor. So originally this car took a team of workers 12 hours to put together. After the moving assembly line, they could build these cars in only 90 minutes. So they started rolling out of the factories one after another. Production really ramps up, prices continue to fall. So much that whoever bought this car in 1925, they would have only paid about $290 for it. Wow. That was only about $4,500 in today's money. So
I wish cars cost that now.
What's that?
I wish cars cost that now.
Yes. Maybe we can go full circle.
Yeah.
Incredibly popular car in the early 20s. Over half the cars in the world were Model Ts. It made Henry Ford one of the wealthiest people in the world, but more importantly, it changed the way that people travel, the way that people live. It helped to create the middle class. This car changed the world, so we're riding around in a piece of history today. Simple cars. There's not much to them. That was by design. Henry Ford wanted to minimize the amenities, produce the car as inexpensively as he possibly could, and make his money by sheer sales volume. So they made the car for 19 years. It was largely unchanged all those years. They produced over 15 million of them. They made so many.
Later.
Yes. And there's so many of them. I mean, this is a 99-year-old car, but you can get these cars, a drivable Model T, in decent shape for only about $10,000 to $12,000.
Wow. How fast can one of these go?
So this car could go 45.
Wow.
Perhaps if the wind is at your back.
Better than I thought.
But that's provided you're on a nice smooth road like this. Yeah. Back in the Model T era, most of the roads were dirt roads. Lots of potholes, mud, wheel ruts, you name it. So typically, if you were doing 20 miles an hour, you were doing really well. But
they were basically cruising about like we're doing right now, huh?
We're doing about 10 or maybe 12 right now. So they were doing better. But the thing to keep in mind is before you owned your Model T, you were doing what? You were walking, riding horseback, maybe bike. So when you compare all those things to the Model T, 20 miles an hour is actually quite fast.
Yeah.
And even though our sides are open here, we still got this nice roof over your head, so it's really such an incredible improvement on the way that people got around.
Really gave people freedom, didn't it?
It sure did. So yeah, the Model T helped to create the travel industry. For the first time, people had the ability to roam the country. But you had to be flexible, though. There were very limited roadside accommodations. People weren't big on driving at night. So what people often found themselves doing was at the end of a long day of traveling on the road, you might have been out in the middle of nowhere and you had no choice but to pull over on the side of the road and get out your sleeping bags, your tent if you really planned ahead, and just go sleep in a farmer's field. So that was very common in the early days. They're very simple cars to drive. The most challenging thing is just unlearning what you've been doing with modern cars all these years.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to look at your feet, noticing that.
Yeah, so it's there's 2 gears, 2 speeds. You control the throttle with your right hand. So we have to stop here. So right now we're in neutral. If I press the left pedal to the floor, you get first gear. Back to neutral. And then into second gear. So first gear, that loud gear with all the vibration, it's really just to get you going from a standstill. Do almost all the driving in second gear, and the beauty of it is the throttle stays wherever you leave it. So if you find yourself on a nice stretch of road, you're just driving with your hands. It's almost like our modern day cruise control. You're not doing anything with your feet, so they can be a real pleasure to drive.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That would be fun.
You sit nice and upright, you have a decent amount of leg room. Really a lot of fun.
Not a bad gig to have as a job, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
You get to drive a vintage car around Greenfield Village. Every 10, 12 minutes, you're meeting someone new from literally anywhere in the country or abroad. So it's a lot of fun.